Welcome to another episode of Management Unplugged by GR. Today we dive into a case that's less about appliances really and more about the people behind them. We're looking at Modern Appliances, a 75-year-old legacy company. And they're facing this kind of quiet crisis. Not a market crash, or a hostile takeover. It's something maybe more dangerous. Disengaged employees and just, dinosaur-era processes. So what happens when a CEO dares to throw the rule book out the window? Invites the frontline staff to call the shots, and almost gives union guys checkbooks. No, this isn't some sitcom plot. It's a real case of culture transformation we're digging into. In this deep dive, we'll break down what Modern tried, why some execs were definitely sweating bullets, and how one bold move led to 14 grassroots recommendations, including a 6-hour warranty claim idea that honestly could have saved a brand. So grab your headphones. This one's part strategy, part drama, and a whole lot of why didn't they do this earlier. Let's unpack this. Okay, so for almost 75 years, Modern Appliances have been a titan in its field, right? A $2 billion company known for quality stuff, refrigerators, washers. But lately, new competitors from Asia and Europe were starting to chip away at their market share. Things are getting tougher.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here, I think, is that despite those external pressures, the CEO, James Bradshaw, he identified the real problem as internal. He saw a company that had just become complacent, struggling with old-fashioned designs, rising costs, and these persistent quality issues. And crucially, he didn't point fingers at the unions for these problems. That's important.
Right. So Bradshaw was basically saying the issue wasn't just the competition, but this internal inertia. It was baked into the system from generations of management.
Exactly. That's it, precisely. Bradshaw saw countless low-value processes everywhere, tons of rework because the quality wasn't there initially. Things like incorrect invoicing, missing parts, you name it. And the after-sale service and warranty costs, unacceptable. It really sounds like they were just treading water, waiting for the next big corporate initiative to come along and inevitably fizzle out.
And that raises a good point. Why did those previous initiatives fail? Things like quality circles, TQM, even ISO certification. They didn't create lasting change.
Well, Bradshaw recognized those for what they often were, just improvement events. They didn't fundamentally shift how the company actually operated day to day. No real cultural change.
Okay, so Bradshaw wasn't just throwing spaghetti at the wall hoping something would stick. He was inspired by Jack Welch's workout process at GE.
Deeply inspired. That whole idea of stripping away bureaucracy, empowering employees, he was all in. He even used Welch's line, plagiarize with pride.
I like that.
But what's really critical to understand here is Bradshaw's commitment. This wasn't a quick fix he was after. It was a multi-year initiative. He wanted a fundamental shift in the role of managers, moving them away from just overseeing people towards being trainers, coaches, real problem solvers. And for him, getting the workforce truly engaged, that was just as vital as hitting the financial numbers.
That sounds fantastic on paper, sure.
Yeah.
But you can just imagine the reaction from the executive team. What were the big hurdles internally? I mean, beyond just worrying about the unions.
Well, you're right. The VP of Human Resources, Ann Armstrong, she was pretty enthusiastic. But yeah, definitely skeptical about getting union buy-in. Others, like the head of production, were openly asking, why is this going to be any different from all the stuff we tried before? Fair question, maybe.
Okay.
But the really significant resistance, the main roadblock, came from Roger Allenby, the vice president of finance. See, Modern was known for its super tight financial controls. And Allenby, while he rightly pointed out that loosening those controls could look bad to suppliers, to analysts, he firmly believed that any business improvements should be led by his group, the business improvement group, not, frontline workers.
And Bradshaw's response to that?
It was pretty classic Bradshaw, apparently.
Yeah.
He essentially said, look, if you're not skeptical about this, you're probably not that bright.
Oh.
He genuinely believed that the vast majority of employees, they want to do good work. They hate the bureaucracy as much as anyone. Management just needed to liberate these wants, as he put it.
Liberate their wants. Okay. So with this mixed executive support, but Bradshaw's clear conviction, they pushed ahead. The first modernization workshop kicked off in September. 60 non-managerial employees. And they pulled them randomly from all over the company. Clerks, salespeople, mechanics, IT folks production line workers.
Yeah.
Critically, none were managers or supervisors, just the people doing the actual work.
Right, and Bradshaw picked customer service as the theme for that first workshop,
Yeah.
which was smart, really. It's a goal everyone can kind of get behind, right? He shared some pretty stark market research data showing how bad Modern's after-sales service ranking was. Then he just threw down the gauntlet. He challenged them, identify everything it would take to make Modern the best customer service company in the entire country. Big ask.
And then came the really interesting part. Bradshaw and his entire executive team just left the room for 2 whole days. And he made this incredibly bold promise, didn't he? Every single recommendation they came up with would either be approved and implemented right away, or the execs would give a clear, public reason why not. No wishy-washy maybes allowed for more than 30 days. He even encouraged them to pick champions to push the proposals forward.
Exactly. And that public commitment, putting the pressure squarely on the executive team to respond directly immediately, that was a powerful signal. It suggested this might actually be a real shift in culture this time. The workshop process itself was pretty straightforward but effective, brainstorming problems, using sticky dots to vote and prioritize. Then teams formed to analyze the top issues and propose actual solutions. They could even call other people in the company if they needed info, though apparently they found enough expertise right there in the room. After 2 really intense days, they had 14 concrete recommendations ready to go.
And one of the absolute most glaring issues they tackled was Modern Appliance's warranty program. This is wild. On paper, it looked okay, maybe even generous free repair or replacement. They even paid for spoiled food if your fridge died. But in reality, it was a huge source of customer anger and frustration. Why? Because the actual process behind it was just broken, ancient, so time-consuming it even ended up on TV in a bad way.
Oh, yeah. This is where you can really see how those dinosaur-era processes, as you called them, directly impacted customers and hammered the brand's reputation. The employees mapped out the standard process. It's almost unbelievable. It took a full 60 to resolve a simple food spoilage claim.
60 days. Seriously.
Seriously. Picture this. Customer finds a puddle, fridge isn't cold. Step 1, try to find the brand in the phone book. Can't. Calls the dealer says, oh, call Modern directly. Okay, so they call Modern, CSR takes details, promises a quick dispatch. Sounds good, right?
So far, maybe delayed, but okay.
But internally, that form goes to the customer service manager, the CSM, who happens to be away for 2 days, wait for it, on a customer service course.
Oh, the irony.
Right. Then the CSM gets back and spends 2 days clearing the backlog. So finally, on Wednesday, a week after the initial call, the technician, the CST, is dispatched. The CST gets there, diagnoses the problem, it's a tiny 79-cent O-ring, and fixes it in 30 minutes.
Okay, fixed in a week. Still bad, but the appliance works now. What about the spoiled food?
Well, because it took a whole week, a significant amount of food spoiled, let's say $200 worth initially. The CST notes the food loss, gives another form to the CSM. Next day, someone keys that into the system. Then the CSR calls the customer back to verify the claim. Another week can easily pass by then.
Verify it. Why?
Well, the workshop team figured out this checking back step was either due to clunky control systems or, maybe worse, a perceived lack of trust in the unionized technicians. Like, they couldn't be trusted to accurately report the loss.
Wow.
So the customer, now really irritated and busy, gets this call a week or 2 later and, maybe not surprisingly, gives a much larger list of spoiled items. Faced with this discrepancy, the CSR, the CSM, and the CST now have to meet to discuss it. Arranging that meeting takes another week. They eventually just agree to the inflated claim to make it go away.
This is getting painful just listening to it.
It gets worse. The approved form then goes to Accounts Payable, AP. And because of a standard net 30 payment policy, it just sits there for 30 days.
30 days, just waiting.
Just waiting. Then the AP clerk sends a requisition to the AP manager for approval, who naturally is also away for 3 days. Manager finally signs it. It gets processed 2 days later. Check is mailed. Then you have to wait, 7 days for the mail? Add it all up. 60 agonizing days from the first call to getting a check.
And that poor customer.
Exactly. They've spent 2 months telling absolutely everyone they know how terrible Modern Appliances is, vowing never, ever to buy from them again, all over a 79-cent part and a broken process.
It's just... It really shows how these internal inefficiencies can fester, doesn't it?
Yeah.
One participant summed it up so well. They said, Modern has lots of processes like these. Slow. Checks, controls, approvals, too many people involved, and it's usually the customer who pays the price.
Yes.
By the way, they added, we the employees hate these processes too. They don't let us do our jobs well. That hits hard. It's not just bad for customers, it's deeply frustrating for the staff.
Absolutely. That frustration is key.
So, okay, empowered by Bradshaw's challenge, the team tackling this warranty nightmare got to work. They made a call, right, to accounting.
They did. Smart move. They found out the average claim was $193.27, and crucially, 90% of all claims were under $280.
Uh-huh. That must have been a light bulb moment for someone.
It absolutely was, especially for one of the service technicians on the team. Suddenly, the scale of the risk looked very different. And with that crucial data, the solution became almost obvious, really. The team, and remember, this included John Antisik, who is both the union branch chair and a service rep. They came up with something truly game-changing.
Okay, so what was the proposal? I'd say it's like it had a few parts.
It did. First, simple stuff but important. List the brand names properly in phone books and online with clear warranty numbers. Make it easy for customers to actually reach them.
Makes sense. Basic blocking and tackling.
Second, empower the CSRs, the customer service reps, to dispatch technicians directly. Cut out that CSM approval bottleneck entirely.
Okay, streamlining.
Yeah.
And the third part, the big one.
The big one. Issue checkbooks directly to the service technicians, the CFTs. Let them settle claims under $300 right there, on the spot.
Wow. Checkbooks to the union technicians in a company known for tight controls.
Exactly. Think about the implications. That single change could slash the resolution time from 60 days down to potentially just 6 hours.
6 hours versus 60 days.
Huge difference. And it wouldn't just fix the immediate problem faster, it would stop the claim amount from ballooning because there's less time for more food to spoil or for frustration to build. Plus, imagine the goodwill. Instead of 2 months of bad-mouthing, you get a customer who's thrilled. And John Antozik, the union chair, he volunteered to champion the idea personally.
Okay, so the next morning arrives. The 60 employees are ready to present their 14 recommendations to the full executive team. John Antisik stands up to talk about the warranty fix. I bet you could hear a pin drop.
Oh, absolutely. Bradshaw, he'd been briefed the night before, so he knew this bombshell was coming, but he couldn't help watching Roger Allenby, the VP of Finance. The description is just stark. White as a sheet, hands gripping the table edge, actual beads of perspiration on his forehead. He knew what this meant for his world.
And Bradshaw just puts it right out there, doesn't he? In front of everyone, the execs, the employees who came up with the ideas, he asked them, so what do you think? Should we approve this or not?
We have about 15 minutes for each one, and we're discussing it right here, right now. No backroom deals. Yeah, talk about putting people on the spot. The discussion, as you can imagine, was pretty lively. The VP of Operations, he saw the upside immediately, speeding up this ridiculous process, as he called it, letting his managers actually focus on training and improving skills instead of just shuffling schedules. The VP of HR, Ann Armstrong, she was enthusiastic too, saw it as genuinely empowering a staff, getting rid of low-value admin work, all positive.
But Allenby, the finance guy, he was always going to be the hurdle, wasn't he?
He was the hurdle. He actually admitted the 30-day wait in AP was, quote, dumb, and claimed he hadn't even known about it, which is interesting in itself.
Convenient.
Maybe, but giving a non-managerial employee, a union member, a company checkbook, he called it revolutionary. Said it was wide open to abuse, to fraud. He just couldn't approve it, flat out.
So now you've got this standoff. What happened next?
It turned into what someone there described as a tennis match between Bradshaw, the CEO, and Allenby, the finance VP. Back and forth, arguing the points, with everyone, employees, other execs just watching. Bradshaw was in a really tough spot. Does he overrule his finance chief publicly, right there? That could seriously undermine Allenby's authority. But if he doesn't, if he kills this first major, really bold proposal from the modernization workshop, well, the whole initiative could lose all credibility on day one. Big moment.
That's high stakes. How do they break the deadlock?
That's when Jeff Meredith, the external consultant who was helping facilitate, stepped in. He offered a compromise, a really smart one, actually. Instead of actual checkbooks, why not give the service technicians vouchers?
Vouchers. How would that work?
They could still settle the claim on the spot, give the customer the voucher. The voucher stubs would then go straight to accounts payable for auditing and control, and the customer would get their payment processed much faster, maybe in 7 days instead of 60. Still a massive improvement.
Okay, so the tech still has the power, the customer gets paid way faster, but finance keeps an audit trail.
Exactly. It was described as a substantive suggestion, a real bridge. Allenby paused. You could see him thinking it through. Then he said, I'm pretty sure that I can live with that.
Wow, close call.
Very. And he even committed to revisiting the actual checkbook idea in 12 months, provided the voucher system worked well and they could address any fraud concerns.
So a breakthrough. I bet there was a huge sigh of relief in that room.
You could almost hear it, I imagine. A collective exhale. Bradshaw agreed the employees were clearly pleased their core idea was accepted, and over the next 6 hours, they powered through the rest. Approved 10 of the 14 initiatives, rejected 2 with clear reasons, and referred the last 2 for a bit more study. A productive day, all things considered.
What a journey for modern appliances. I mean, going from a 60-day customer service nightmare to a 7-day solution, soon maybe even 6 hours, all because they finally asked and empowered the people on the front lines.
It really does highlight something fundamental, doesn't it? How often the answers to an organization's biggest headaches are already known, right there, by the employees doing the actual work every day. The real challenge, like modern appliances found out, isn't always finding the solution. It's creating the system, the trust, the culture that lets those insights bubble up and actually get acted upon.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other companies out there have these kinds of dinosaur-era processes just grinding away, quietly destroying goodwill, costing money, all just waiting for someone to finally ask the frontline staff, hey, what's getting in your way? And what do we need to change? Maybe the real innovation isn't some complex new strategy, but just listening. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. See you later. Bye-bye.